Test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test, test. You can hear me now. Gentlemen, can you hear me? Okay, good. We're in business. Hold on one more second. Oh, Lord. Oh. Okay. Sorry about all this. I've had this system for 3 years. And if one thing is not right, everything is wrong. So I apologize first off about last night and again now tonight. No matter how much I do, I don't like working with the system. I like practicing my drawing. So I really don't investigate the whole thing. So anyway, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to explore polyrhythms. And we're going to use the stick control book and the syncopation book. We're going to go on to 3 against 2, 3 against 4, and 5 against 2. And we're going to use the stick control book, and we're going to use the syncopation book. First, what is 3 against 2? Well, it's a polyrhythm. It means 2 rhythms are going on at one time. Poly, more than one. Okay, now, there's a few ways to do what does my bass drum sound like? I don't know what that is. Anyway, what I do is when I do 3 against 2, I kind of go into the 8th note triplet mode. Now, the way I count 8th note triplets is 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Okay, now, that's the 3 with my left hand. Now, what I do when I do 3 against 2, I change my count. I usually have 2 ways of counting the triplet. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Now for educational reasons or instructional reasons here, I'm going to change that count. Instead of 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now my bass drum is going to be playing 1, 2, 3, 4. So already I have a polyrhythm going, which is my 1 against 3. Okay, now the 2, oh boy, now we have some issues. Not really, just joking. What I'm doing is I'm playing the triplet here, and I'm playing 8th notes here. So now how do I get that to sound equal to the quarter note, the pulse? So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To get the 2 in there, 3 times 2 is 6 counts. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, that's only 3 counts. If I count 1 and 2 and 3 and, that's 3 counts, 6 counts, excuse me. So I have this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 1. So now the right hand by itself is on the 1 in the and. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and it's on the 1 and the and of 2. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I'm doing 1 against 2 there. 1, 2, and 3. And I put them together. And I could reverse it. I could play the 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Do we understand that so far, everybody? That's 3 against 2. Now, that's a simple pattern. That's one way I do it, but there's other formations. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and. You understand it? Okay. Now I just play quarter note triplets with quarter notes. That's 3 against 2. Now what I do to challenge that, anybody could really, once you understand it, you could play it. But let's challenge it so we make it stronger. I'd invite everybody over for coffee, but I think everybody lives too far away. So Joe and double kick. Okay. We have, we could understand everything? No problem. Now, let's take the stick control book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reference off the stick control book. The stick control book, you can play it in eighth notes. You can do a lot of different things right now. And we're going to think of stick control book, page 5, in eighth notes. Like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the eighth notes between my bass drum, my floor tom-tom and my bass drum. Now what gets confusing about this, and you should do one line for quite a while, go to the second line, get used to it, is to make the rights the right hand. 1, 2, and the lefts, and. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So now I have the 3 going on here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So what you're doing now is you're playing eighth note triplets with the left hand, and you're actually playing line 1 of page 5 of the stick control book between the right foot and the floor tom-tom, the right hand. Do we understand that? No beer, no drinking on the job. Just joking, guys. I shut the air conditioner off. It is hot in here. That's okay. I could sweat and lose a couple pounds. No problem. So we understand that. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to line 3. Any questions on that? Now, you got some of these drummers today, man, have outrageous feet. They're playing double beaters. Okay. Hey, Ken, how are you? Is this your first time here? I am going to write. I've been overwhelmed with a lot of things to do, and I've been slacking off on the PDFs. Okay, coffee in the AM. All right. Anyway, if this is your first time here, and if you want to get on my mailing list, I'm going to give you my email, and I'll send you PDFs. Here's my email. Hold on. just shoot me out a email. I'll add you to my mailing list, and you'll get the week's agenda plus PDFs for the week, and plus the books. Now, we're still on the stick control book. We're doing 3 against 2. We're going to go to line 5. Now remember, the rights are here and the lefts are here. Okay? So you have 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, 1. So what you're doing is you're playing a paradiddle, okay, between the bass drum in the right hand against an eighth note triplet. And it gets like, really nice. I'm not going to play it up tempo right now, just relaxing, demonstrating it. It's an instructional platform, not a display of my abilities like a lot of guys do, which I totally disagree with. I should keep my mouth shut or I get in trouble. But anyway, that's, I'm going to do it slow. Now, like I said, a lot of guys have outrageous feet. A couple of my students, that's all they practice is double bass drums. My God. I mean, what I do with my hands, they do with their feet. Unbelievable. Okay, but anyway, the one person that I really have a tremendous amount of respect for is Colin Bailey. I've met Colin Bailey a few times, and Joe Morello has absolutely said so many nice things about this guy. What is this wrong? What's wrong with this? Now, Colin Bailey has bass drum techniques. Oh, thank you, Mr. Ken. Anyway, what I like to do, for example, is play triplets with my bass drum. 1, 2, I'm going to do it slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And play the stick control book on top. Now we'll do it on the snare drum first. We got 1. See it? 1, 2, 3. Or you can mix it up. 1, 2, 3. Do that for 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll have an outrageous foot. You're developing a lot of coordination and control. Okay, now, let me get to the syncopation book. I'm just giving you some ways to hit up on the stick control book. Like I said, when I first got the stick control book, it was boring as hell for me because I didn't understand it. I said, what is this? 3 pages of right, lefts, and all different combinations. What the hell is this going to do for me? Not until I went to Joe Morello did I understand George Lawrence Stone's abilities, mentality, and direction. Brilliant guy. Okay, now, let's go. If you have the syncopation book, you should all have it in your library. If you don't, you should get it. Ted Reed is what I say about the syncopation book, all right, is actually the stick control book minus lefts. All right, so it's like on steroids, or whatever. I don't want to get into that. All right, if you look at page 10, very simple page. Okay, so we have page 10, and I'm going to play line 1 as written, eighth notes and quarter notes, and I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so, what we're going to do with that now, you're reading. What a drag. You got to read. You have to read, man. The more you know about the language, the more familiar you are with the terminologies. I really feel that, the more you know about the technology, technology, the language and the, whatever, the better of a player you're going to be, and it's going to open up your mind. So we're going to take, first off, we're going to do the triplet, 1, 2, 3, okay? And we're going to play the line down with the right hand. Let me slow that down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Here you go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, little faster. Now, I'm restricting you right now. I'm demonstrating it on the three sounds: the bass drum, the snare drum, and the floor tom-tom. Now you could take the line. You're learning it. You're reading it. It's a whole lot hipper, I guess, once you understand the math of and the value of the notes inside of the 4/4. You experiment with it a little bit. Here you are. You're playing a polyrhythm. One hand's doing the triplets, and the other hand's playing a line, and that's coordination. Plus reading at the same time. It's a lot of things going on. So I like to move it around. You know, I like I said, I restricted you to the floor tom-tom. I like to move it around. Have fun with it. You can take any line at this point, if you understand that, okay, you could have a whole lot of fun with that. Now, I had some technical issues in the beginning of the lesson. It's almost 10 after 8, which is okay. I'm going to try to do this as long as I can because it's like a steam room in here right now. I had to shut the air conditioners, all the vents, and shut them all off so you don't get that echoing sound. So I think that you want me to deal with 3 against, well, let me do one more thing with that, page 10. All right? Then we'll go to 3 against 4. Hold on. All right, page 10. Again, we're going to play the triplets on the bottom. So I played the line with my right hand and played it through different voices, which makes it more musical, a lot of fun. It opens up your ears to a lot of different things. It exposes you to that. It's really a good thing. That's what I feel. Any questions on that one? So I'm going to go on to spend the next 10 minutes on 3 against 4. Now, is everybody here familiar with that polyrhythm? 3 against 4. Be honest, step up, man up, yes or no? Right now I'm going to play triplets with one hand and 16th notes with the other hand in 4/4 time. Now again, I'm going to deal with my count. Now, like I count the triplets 2 ways: 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do now is subdivide the triplet. Instead of 1, 2, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Now, the formula I come up with, if you multiply the polyrhythm against each other, 3 against 4, that equals 12. So that's going to have to give me 12 counts. At first, that's what you want to do, is you want to count this out. Eventually, you'll hear it, you'll feel it. So as I did the 3 against 2, I subdivided. I went 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, the way I count the 3 against 4 would be 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the. So now, if I'm counting the 12 counts, 1E and is 4, 2E and the is 8, 3E and the is 12. I'm going to be playing on the count 1, 2, 3 as the triplet, and I'm going to subdivide all the E and does. So the left hand is going to remain on the triplet, 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the. Now, that's every third beat. Is that 1, 2, 3, 1, 3? All right. And now I'm going to do the 4. It's going to be every 4 counts. 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the. You might want to write this down, and I apologize, no PDF. So I'm counting 1E and the 2E and the 3E and I'm going to play it on the hi-hat so you can hear me. So here's the count. I'm going to do it slow. 1, E, and the 2 E, and the 3 E, and the 1 E, and the 2 E, and the 3 E, and the 1. We get that, gentlemen? No problem. And, you know, the winter time is no problem. What I try to do before I do the lesson, I blast the air conditioner here, and it gets really cold. So when I walk in the room, it's like a freezer. As soon as I turn on the lights, boom, it's gone. But that's okay, not a problem. All right, so now, let's do 3 against 4. 3 on the snare, 4 on the tom. I'm giving that one with an accent. We got it? Okay, let's take the stick control book and let's do the first line, page 5. We just demonstrated it before as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now we're going to think it. I'm not going to think of cut time or anything. I'm just consolidating the line as one measure. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to count it 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and. So you get this: 1 E and the E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. Okay, you got that? So that's going to be my 4. If I was playing the bass drum on a 1, 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. That bass drum is the 1 and the top is the 4. Now, how are we going to get the triplet in there? Okay, what I want to do is the triplet on the bottom, the bass drum. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 1 E and the 2, and play the line, the sticking pattern. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the. Do them slow. Line 3, right, right, left, left. 1 E and the 2 and. Got it? Hey, Ken, where are you from, Ken? We got that, right? Well, now you can do the 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know, anybody here familiar with Joe Morello's Table of Time? Does anybody... Okay, relax, guys. You know, Ken, you know the table time. How about you, Joe? And how about, where he left? No. Everybody understand the table of time? I'm going to play a line of quarter notes. Okay, I'm going to play a line of quarter notes, a line of eighth notes, a line of eighth note triplets, and a line of 16th notes. I'm going to leave the quarter note triplets out. So I'm going to play like 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 16th. Now, I play quarter notes, eighth note triplets, and 16th notes. And we're going to play them around a set at once. So that means I'm going to do 1 against 2, against 3, against 4. So I'm going to make my bass drum the 1. Now I'm going to count in 3, 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and that. My left foot is going to play the 2, 1 E and the 2 and 3, 1 E and the 2 E and 3, 1 E and the 2 and 3. My left hand is going to play the 3, 1 E and the 2 E and the 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm playing quarter notes with my bass drum, eighth notes with my hi-hat, and eighth note triplets with my left hand. Okay? Now the 16th notes, we'll put them on here. How's that? Doing the table of time. We can move it all around the place, but that's just an example of, it's just so much to do, and there's not enough time in a lifetime to do what you want to accomplish. So you just keep working and working, and the more you work, the more you discover that things to do, and that overwhelms you. So don't try to take on too much. Take one subject at a time. Get it going on. No matter what you hear. You want to maybe, what you call? Oh, Lord. You may want to write down what you discover and try it at another time. But anyway, that was the Morello quarter notes, eighth note triplets, and 16th notes. I refer to it as Morello, but also a friend of mine, and I'm sure that you're familiar with him. His name is Dave Stanek, and he was a percussion instructor at McNally College of Music in Minnesota for like 25 years. So the place closed down, and now he's doing his own lessons, which is cool. The guy's brilliant, a good drummer, he's a big band drummer, and he has a book out he published, Mastering the Tables of Time. He was nice enough to send me the book, and I keep promising him 3 years ago that I'm going to do a lesson from his book, which I will. Like I said, there you go. It's too overwhelming. And the way he does the table of time, he starts off with a whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth notes, quarter note triplets, eighth note triplets, 16th notes, all the way down to the groups of 5, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then he regresses. Then he goes to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1, and back. Great book, man. All right, I'm going to have to sign off if you gentlemen don't mind, because it's really hot. It's 20 after, and I apologize about all the technical issues. Hope I have them all resolved. But all this shit just drives me crazy. Okay, gentlemen, if you have any questions, don't forget to email me. Hopefully I can get to some PDFs. I've been promising Billy's Bounds, a moment's notice. Oh, man, so many different things. I'm going to try to write out a few ostinatos. It's just like I would never get any sleep if I do everything I said I'm going to do. And I'm trying to do it as best as I possibly can. Okay, so, any questions before I close it up? Hey, Ken, if we're on Facebook, we need to speak. Joe and Double Kick, you too, man. Let's get on and have a conversation. Let me know who you are, what you've been doing. You're in the East, Mr. Joe. Where in the East are you, Joe? I'm in New Jersey. And where are you, Joe? All right. Need to close it down. Oh, you're close. You know what? The guys from Mass, from New Jersey, New York, Staten Island, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland. What I want to do one day in the future is do a get together, rent a hall, have some artists come like Mike Clark, Mark Walker, Bernard Purdy, myself, and do a whole thing on a drum clinic day and a get together. I think that would be nice. Are we friends on Facebook? That's you, 1 foot. I don't know what that is. I didn't really have time to watch that. I will though, and we'll talk about it. Okay. I just posted a video in the art of drumming and on my feed. There was a lesson going on at Drumeo. I don't know who the drummer was, man, but he had a pocket and a half. I mean, this guy was fabulous. What it was this guy wasn't overplaying. He was singing and he was playing, and he hit it right on, man. He had you rocking. He was on the groove. He was in the groove, on the groove, all over the groove. But he was not overplaying. He sounded really nice. Okay, guys, signing off. A clinic, yes. Need to go. Sorry. Ugh. This old age shit's got to stop, man. Testing one more time.